Hey everyone, it's Yoga, and I am doing my annual reflection for my birthday. Today wraps up my 35th birthday, or as I call them, chapters. I have had a lot of things that has occurred between the end of 2017, because my birthday is literally at the end of the year, and of 2018. There's been a lot of things that has occurred since my last confessions or reflection from 2017 from my 34th to my 35th birthday. First off, I can't believe that, I can believe, but oh my god, I'm turning 36. That's awesome in itself because just with all the things that has happened this year, seeing that I do ride, I take my life at risk by getting on a motorcycle, throwing my leg over a bike. You're putting your life at risk every time that you do that. So of course I pray every time that I get on the bike. So making sure that that is my number one priority, making sure I pray for safety, safe travels for myself, family, friends when I'm out on the road, and making sure that I get back home the same way that I left. So reflection as far as with life in Atlanta, I have had a couple jobs. I am currently at a position that financially has put me in a great place. It's still not the financial backing I was making back home in Michigan, but it's definitely more than what I was currently, or not currently, but what I was previously making when I first got down here. My first job when I got down here, my earnings was $30,000. So with the field of social work down here, it's unfortunate that unless you are licensed to make adequate amount of money. So I eventually had to switch shifts and gears as far as with my work. So my current employment, I'm doing something more in data entry kind of quality. I did work doing a therapy position, which was short-lived because it was contractual. So that was something I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be, I don't want to get into that. Another position I wound up going into was support coordination, which I had said I would never get back into, but I was trying to get doing something in my field. So financially, the work wasn't necessarily hard. I was back in my population work with the developmental disability, but financially it was not where for my comfort level. It wound up being too stressful as far as like how they wanted the work to be done and turned in. So eventually I took a position with Aerotech, and then with that it put me into a data entry position that I was making decent money and a typical like 8 to 4 type work. I left there. We moved to the west side, and so from there I took on a position, finally kind of getting back into my field of work, doing like quality work, working in the field of social work, but on the MI side. So I was there for about 3 months, and financially I was making enough money that we finally had moved into our own place. So my significant other, my guy, Mr20, we wind up finally getting our own space. So we were financially, paying for the bills and everything, and I was going to have to eventually pick up a second job. So from there I was like, let me see if the place where I left, where I was doing the full-time work as a temp, if they are now hiring, because they did hire pretty much everyone that was temp. They hired them on for perm, and I applied and I didn't have to go back in because I did such a good job before I left. So they allowed me to come back. So I am currently still there. As a list on my Facebook, I am Jacqueline of all trades. So I don't like to necessarily say where I work, but I've made some new friends and things of that nature. So just reflecting on how last year, how this time I literally had just lost my job right before the holidays, to now I was able this year to buy Christmas gifts for my nieces and nephew, and for close family and friends. I was very grateful for that opportunity. This was probably my first time since working that I had like an actual like really birthday celebration, and I was very grateful for that opportunity as well, that I've made work family in so many, because you work so long that basically the people that you work with become your family. So switching gears into the bike life, I have continued to ride my ride, and I am a year and a half riding since I got licensed. I had my 250 when I did my last reflection, and then this summer, before the summer, I wound up meeting a friend. Her name is Brittany. I might insert a picture like right here. She was riding a 250 as well, and we like became best of friends because wasn't that many. Shoot, she's the only 250 rider that I did wind up running into. So had a blast riding with her, and what are the odds that we literally upgraded our bikes the exact same day? She upgraded to an R6, and I upgraded to my ZX6R. I'm going to insert a picture right here. Love my bike. My 250 was Black Panther, and it only made sense. Other than the color, it is blue and black, so I did originally call her Mystique. But to keep with the tradition of Black Panther, my ZX6R is called Storm. So that is my bike. I was riding and things of that nature, around town. I've had arranged a ride up to Red Top. I got to meet one of my Instagram friends, and I met another friend that's from, one is from, they're both from the north. So one is closer to my home in Indiana, and the other is out in New York. So I was able to meet them and get to ride out with them. I didn't get to ride without my New York friend. She didn't have a bike, but it's cool. We'll eventually get to ride out. So outside of that, we had a ride to Florida. So that was my first time crossing state lines, and I rode with my guy, Mr. TiVo, and with our friend Sully. He has an R6, so they are Yam Game, the R6 and the FC09. So we rode to Panama City, had a blast, and somewhere in between riding from Georgia to Florida, Alabama, my back wheel started acting up. By the time we finally hit Florida and got ready to get to the hotel, I don't know what happened. Eventually we found out that my wheel bearing went out. So I'm like, are you serious? So I am out of commission at the moment until I can get my bike up and running, which is cool. I had to get some schoolwork done. I am this close from finishing my degree. Yay. Finally got my life right, because I was totally playing in the streets, and I was like, oh yay, just out in the streets on my bike and whoop-de-woo. I'm trying to become a whole doctor, so I had to get my life right. So with my 250, I was just everywhere and anywhere. Upgraded end of July and barely was riding my bike. I've had some awesome moments on my bike. I made it back home safely. This awesome couple, they saw TiVo ride on my bike because we exchanged soon after we left Florida. And then they literally from probably, I think we probably had entered Alabama, and maybe 30 minutes at most, they saw us and offered to escort us back into the city because they lived out in Gwinnett, and they literally took us all the way home. So definitely grateful. God put people in places where they're supposed to be, and we were on the road at the right time so that him and his wife can help us with their truck and get us back home safely. Because I was like, I'm going to have to park my bike somewhere and figure out how to get this bike back home. Speaking of bike life, it's been a lot going on. We've had some awesome moments, and then we've had some sad moments. For myself personally, I've had 3 people that I've known. One, I knew him as far as like our interactions at my friend's shop at Moto Style, and that one hit me as far as like, are you serious? Like, we just saw him last weekend, and that's how I met my friend Brittany, because she was at the ride. And then from there, later on, we met this guy, Kev, one of the sweetest guys that you could have known. Unfortunately, he is no longer with us as of the end of the year. And then no later than that, we just lost another friend on Christmas. So this lifestyle of bikes is amazing. It's nothing but adrenaline. It's a fun way to like get the blood flowing and experience life in a whole nother manner. But at the same time, it can take your life as well. And people have to understand that just because you on 2 wheels, just because you can zip in and out of traffic or whatever, you have to respect the ride. If you don't respect it, it's not going to respect you. Not saying the people that I have known that are no longer with us are going because of that, but if you're not doing what you need to do on your ride, whether looking, speeding, could be out like that. Like, I've had a plenty close calls, and at this point, like, a lot of us are either at the point of like, I don't want to ride no more. I'm either only going to be a track rider at this point. I'm selling my bike. So currently, as I said, my bike is out of commission at the moment, and I'll have it back up and running by spring 2019, because we are officially into winter. So I totally rode in the winter last year. I'm fine with it because with the Georgia weather, you can ride. So, but just continue to take in these moments and just be there. So, but I do have my awesome Mustang that I purchased earlier this year. Another grateful moment. Totally went in for an oil change and drove off with a whole 2018 EcoBoost Mustang, which is Black Panther number 2. Went to Tivo's job and was like, hey, come outside. And he was like, what happened to your truck? Kind of like, yeah, so what happened was, I kind of got this now. So, I was waiting for graduation and seeing that I'm still in school. I will hopefully, I'm putting into existence that I'm gonna get my life right and finish up the, like, I'm literally at the end. I have finished my proposal at this point. I just need to reorganize it and then have them approve it, and then finish the dissertation with the last 2 chapters, and then I could be doctor. So I'm almost there. So I will be walking May 2019. And so basically I got an awesome job with awesome new work friends. I purchased my vehicle, my dream car that I wanted earlier, thanks to the help of the folks out in Conyers, courtesy Ford. Let's see. Finally got into my own living space with Mr. 20. And then I purchased a new bike, It's a 2009, so it's new to me because it barely had any miles on it. Other than the wheel bearing going out. We're not going to talk about that. It's okay. Things happen for a reason. And the last thing to close out 2018 would be an awesome photo shoot with friends of Tevin. And finally I got two of his best friends together that he's known like forever since back in the heyday. Finally got everyone together, had this awesome photo shoot. His cousin and his wife, they moved out to Vegas earlier this year. And they came back for Thanksgiving. He's a photographer. He's doing awesome. Big ups to Khaleesa Creations. Check him out. And he popped the question. I'm recording as I'm doing now. And like literally my phone almost dropped to the ground. I'm like, are you serious? Like, we've talked about marriage and things of that nature, but that was totally unexpected. Unless you're like really planning and just nosy, knowing when you're gonna get proposed to, I totally didn't know. So I was completely shocked. But everyone on my family loves him. We went up to Michigan to visit his family and my family. I finally met his great-grandma. We didn't get to meet her last year. I met her, and I met some of his additional family out in Michigan, and he met the rest of my family because he got to meet my dad's side last year, and like everyone loves him, and they love me too. So he popped the question in. Look at that, y'all. That's just, oh my God. I am like really happy. I'm truly grateful and blessed. There's so much more to come for 2019. God is putting things in the place of where it's supposed to be. So what's up for next year? We definitely need to look for a house. No date is set because he wants to look for a house, but we're gonna get that figured out. So probably a rental just to get us, out of our apartment. Definitely grateful for our living space, but we do need something a little larger. So once that's squared away, we got some traveling to do next year, and then graduation, and we're gonna speak into existence that we're gonna have a wedding in 2019 as well. So that is everything. So that is my reflection for 2019. You got Brittany in the background giggling like as always, but continue to watch our journey of the misadventures of TNT. Continue to watch. I will get back into my yoga next year as well. So once I get done with school, I'll get back to my teaching of yoga, and then eventually get completely certified and licensed as a yoga instructor. So, but thank you for watching. Hope to see new awesome things and continue to show and grow with Tevin, my family and friends. And so until next time, love, light, and many blessings. Stay humble. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm out.
Hey, yo.